Bafana Bafana win against Angola 2-1. My reflection of the game is that the game was too physical. At the back, we had Ngezana and Mbokazi, two physical boys. But the two different thing about them is that Ngezana is good aerially, but he's not necessarily good when it comes to passing from the back, which is one of the strengths of Ronwen Williams and one of the strengths of Tebogo Mokoena, to be able to link with the attackers. But all in all, at the end of the day, Bafana Bafana, even though we are small in stature, they tried by all means to ensure that they contest each and every duel. And in most cases, that is when you saw a lot of yellow cards flying around, because we were trying by all means to match them in terms of strength. But however, when I look at it in front, this game for me, I feel like it needed someone like Mahopa. Reason being that Mbokazi is one of those players who likes to play long ball, either to the wing or to the center. Then you need someone who is a speedy winger like Mukwana or Moremi, so that they can hug the touchline, they stretch the defense of the opposition, which is what Hugo Bruce did in the second half. He introduced both Moremi, which he came in and impacted the game. He even scored. Unfortunately for him, he couldn't register his name because it was an offside. The reason why I say that it needed Mahupa more than Lyle Foster is because of South Africa needed some physical players also at the defense and also in the attack. Mahupa has got the capacity, because he's tall and he's also physically strong, he's got the capacity to hold up play and allow the likes of Mbokazi to play those long balls, hold, to allow the midfield to join in. But I do like how Lyle Foster tried, and he even got us a goal, which we cannot necessarily criticize. But looking at it from the left back position, like I said, that this game was more physical. Personally, I would have preferred Kavini. Reason being that Kavini is not necessarily a wing back, but he is a full back that plays more at the defense than at the attack. I like the way in which Mudau is, because Mudau gives you both. He gives you the ability to defend at the back and also the ability to attack, which is also what we needed. In the first half, when we scored, we decided to relax and try to play those, passing game. But to be honest, Angola did own the first half, because they came back, they scored. After that, they kept on pressing and pushing the boys. As for Ngota, I feel like it was a good decision for Hugo Bruce to replace him in the first half. Reason being that he is too small in terms of stature, and I feel like he's gonna have a serious tough time in this AFCON. Not necessarily because of he lacks a certain skill, but because AFCON in general, players in Africa are physically very strong and are very dynamic. So which means that as a young boy, it becomes very difficult for you to contest against bigger boys. In this case, we saw this in the game against Nigeria when we were playing the qualifiers, when he was marked by Calvin Bassey of Nigeria. He was having a tough time there, even though his speed tend to aid him in this case. But I do like the idea that when Moremi came in, he decided, you know what, I'm not going to contest with the defenders. I'm gonna hug the touchline, knowing very well that Mbokazi is gonna give me those long balls. Sitole is gonna give me those long balls to ensure that it comes to me. I don't necessarily have to go to the defenders. I just have to hug the touchline, stay away from them, because of I know that I am not physically capable to beat them, but I am fast enough to actually beat them. That was the thinking of Moremi, and that was the thinking of Hugo Bruce, which I can feel like which I feel like he did very well. And personally, I feel like Moremi, when he came in, he changed the game, not necessarily because of he scored, but the idea that the midfielder of Angola and the defense of Angola had to kept an eye on him. It meant that more numbers on the midfield for us, because of one midfielder was supposed to mark Moremi, their number 8, and also one of their fullbacks had to mark Moremi, which means that they do not have those numbers because they were playing 4-4-2, remember. So which meant that one in that 4-4-2 had to go, be removed from the midfield to go and mark at the winger, which was very good for us. The goal scored in the second half, I feel like it was scored not necessarily because of we had the position or anything, but it's a matter of pressing, which is something that Hugo Bruce has done for the squad. I'm very much happy with that, because you force defenders to make mistakes. When defenders make mistakes, you pass each other, you punish. And I'm very happy that Lyle Foster was very clinical. He didn't miss. 2 beautiful goals for Bafana Bafana, honestly. 2 beautiful goals. The goal that we conceded, this is one thing which normally, if ever you check my videos when I'm either commentating on the games or giving my analysis, is that South Africa has a problem. And it's not necessarily South Africa as a national team, but South African football in general. We are very poor when it comes to defending set pieces. Whether it's a high set pieces, a low set piece, it doesn't matter. We are very poor at that. It is something that Hugo Bruce, if ever he wants to go as far as possible in this AFCON and also in the World Cup, he needs to work on, because African teams, they are giants, they are stronger, and they are still playing more traditional football of hoofing the ball into the box, aerial ball into the box, and the game is more physical. And when it's more physical, it means that there is more fouls, and when there is more fouls, it means that there's more free kicks, more set pieces, which means that we need to know how to defend them to ensure that we win these kind of games. Otherwise, each and every game, Bafana Bafana is gonna concede with a free kick. Like I said, that it's not necessarily a Bafana Bafana problem, but a South African football problem. When you check, if you even go to the archives, you check the games of Mamelodi Sundowns against North African teams, you check Orlando Pirates games against North African teams, in most cases, the goals that those teams concede is set pieces, corners, free kicks, which is a problem. It means that as South Africans, we are not doing enough when it comes to defending or learning how to defend set pieces. Personally, I feel like that is one thing which, as South Africans, we need to learn. But all in all, in terms of the passing game, the skill, the dynamic wingers, the speedy wingers, the goals like you saw today, we didn't have many chances. The goals that we have scored came from very few chances, which means that we are more clinical. We do understand the stage where we are in. So it was a problem for me when we are coming to this AFCON, that South Africa has a tendency of producing more chances and not scoring. But to see that we produced very little chances, but we scored, I'm very happy about that. It is something that I was worried, but it seems like Hugo Bruce and his technical team worked on it. As for Mbokazi, that shot, it is starting to show that it's becoming a culture to him that when he is on that range, he needs to unleash a shot. I was happy to see that. It's just unfortunate that he didn't score. I hope he can do more of those, get them on target, force the keeper, because those legs, they have power in them. You had the bar rattling to show that there was power in that shot, and keeper had no chance. I'm very happy also with Tebogo Mokoena. in the middle of the park together with Sitole, controlling, especially in the second half, because in the first half we had serious problems when it comes to that. But all in all, 3 points in the bag. We just have to go and play Egypt, ensure that we get the maximum points, and to us, we must ensure that the draw must feel like a loss. We must not lose that game. If ever we want to go to the next group stages, if we need to pass the group stages, we must make sure that either we draw with Egypt or we win that game. Simple as that. Thank you very much, guys. Fan Fever signing out.